Yeah. Remember that time when I told you guys that the door would probably lock on me? Yeah, it did. But guess what? This 21, 22-year-old remote still works, baby. Right, we gonna move the big new sexy Ram back so we can work on this Mustang passenger side window motor, which is easier than you would think it would be. Hey fam, how's it going? So this is the second time doing a window motor on the old Mustang, the old 0203. Well, let's take a look. So basically, that's all we get when we press the down button on the passenger side. So let's get into it. All right, first things first, what you want to do with this is just go underneath the plastic trim right here. These are brand new, so they're not brittle. They're nice and still flexible. But yeah, it's just easy. You can come in here with your four fingers right here. This is just a little clasp here. Pull it up and out. And if it's like the other day, this clip will promptly pop out and head to the bottom of the door. And I'm hoping to find that as I move forward. Now, this being old school, like I call this car our dinosaur, it does have Phillips screws on the back of the switch plugs. So I'm going to take that off. All right. Got some wildlife making some noises over there, but let's get into this. All right, gonna take these two Phillips screws out. Just like so. Bam, bada, bam. See that? Our switch modules come out, and I've still got power going to it, so I either... Oh, look at this. This is this car's favorite thing to do. I swear it's cursed. And I'll bring you around here. Hopefully this one's in one piece. The sun has done a number on this poor puppy. I'll bring you in here. You can see, maybe, right here behind this vinyl, there's a screw that goes through the door. And that's kind of like the super brittle plastic. I mean, now it's super brittle plastic because, you know, it's 22 years old. But yeah, this door secures the panel to the sheet metal. I'm going to see if actually I have to take this screw out or not. Take a look, see. Yeah, see, same as the other side. Now, when you design a door where you want this screw to go through a super thin piece of plastic, and then this is actually your handhold to pull the door shut, 20 some odd years later, look at that, it's broke. Heck, I wager that was broke the day after it left the factory when the dude put it on the transport truck, you know what I'm saying? You know, if you want to check something, get inside, he probably pulled on this and probably snapped the first day. So I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to work my way around the outside of the door and proceed. You can see that there's just enough for these switches to go down through the door. All right. Oh, there it is. That's that pull handle clip that I was talking about. I heard it head towards the bottom of the panel. We found it over. I'm kind of just gonna come in here. There is a plastic rivet at the front of the door panel. I don't know if y'all can see that. Let me get you in there. Let's see if this thing But right at the front down here, there's a plastic rivet, and I'm going to get that with that plastic tool. So we're going to hit that. And the fun thing about these things, fun fact, this vintage Mustang, this is actually what holds the whole car together. I kid you not. The whole front end of this car, pretty much, and a lot of this ground effects, is held together by these suckers right here. I got a box of them from Harbor Freight, and I think I went through almost the whole box putting the front end back on this car. Just kind of finessing around, putting my fingers around the front of the panel here, working my way around. I know for a fact that there are some clasps in here somewhere. Look at that. There's a trim screw hanging out at the bottom of that panel. Still trying to work my way. You can hear him trying to release there. I think we have a release on that one. Still feeling around. There's one in the middle here somewhere. And I'm still trying to undo. So I'm going to work this up and out at the same time. Okay, because I felt that disengagement. And I'm feeling the door card kind of wiggling around. That came off the lock. Alright, we've got another clasp here. It's looking really good. We're looking around, seeing if there's any possible hang-up areas. Looks like this is hanging us up. While we're here, I'm going to zoom in on a few items as well. Coming back. All right, so your switches slide through the door panel here. Your door handle actually comes out like you're pulling it to get out of the car from here. And also be aware of your lock stem there. Now looking at the back of the panel, somebody has ripped the end of that off already. But as I was going at the bottom of the door panel, I was trying to lift and pull out at the same time. And here is that green plastic I was talking about. It is metal reinforced, but it does nothing for the actual screw that sits in there. So, like I said, day one from the factory, it probably ripped right through that hole the day it was getting delivered or shipped out. All right, more New Edge Mustang info. Taking a look. Let's get this. So this is kind of made easier on this side. The driver's side was more of a piece of cellophane, but what I like to do is I like to take this sheet, work it up and around, and I'll get it off the door and peel it back. But you can see all the little pockets that the door panel is supposed to rest in, right? Speaker, whatnot. The speaker's actually going to come out to facilitate getting the window motor in there. And I am going to peel from the bottom, if I'm able to, first things first, we'll work. See that it's just a sheet of plastic. See, there we go. Now we're peeling off the back. Okay. Peeling off the sheet of plastic. Kind of evaluating how crazy I want to get here, because as you can see, we have exposed the window motor and the regulator mounting bolts. There's a neat little trick that you can do to help you get this motor out, and I'll show that to you guys as soon as I get my tools and go to pull that out. Alright, so we're taking from the Harbor Freight collection. Believe it or not, the Craftsman did not have the 11mm that you need for the regulator bolts. Or nuts. I mean, they're nuts, right? So am I. Anyway, 11mm on these. And this is an 8mm. I like the colored sockets because then you know what you're grabbing. So I'm going to take these 3 8mm out. And then I'm going to show you a trick. I'm going to pull these 11mm out to the end of this. And then we're going to play around with this motor until it falls off of the drive gear. And we pull it out through the speaker hole, which we're going to have to take the speaker out as well. And I'm going to have to figure out how to fit you in here. But I'm going to do all this prelim stuff first, just because it's right here and I got this freaking vapor barrier all over the place. Make sure we're in lefty-loosey mode, right? Bam, bam, bam. Remember, we don't take this off. We just back it out. That far, right? Because we're just trying to get enough room to break that grip that motor has on the window gear. Okay? This right here, some people have said, you know, have your magnet tool ready or whatnot. I've had good experience where they just come right out. Hopefully the switch doesn't weigh too much. So these loosen up really quick. Since it's a deep socket, I can usually catch the bolt as it comes out. Right? If it comes out, make me look like a liar here. Alright, next one's right here. This is really easy, you can do it yourself. Like I said, the only time you're sweating is getting this door panel off, you know? I love this car. I call it the dinosaur. It is built how cars used to be built. It is more related to the Fox bodies than it is to anything that's currently out there right now, and I truly believe that's a good thing. Down to the last bolt holding the motor in. I don't know if we're going to hear anything when I take this bolt out or not. I don't know if we'll have any movement right off the bat. When it came to the driver's side, which is exactly the same as far as removing the motor goes, that thing was stuck. And I had to do that twice because the wiring fell apart from, you guessed it, Amazon. I had to recrimp all the wires. I'm a big heat shrink guy when it's something you can actually see. Otherwise, I will do, you know, black electrical tape and whatnot when it can be seen. Okay, so yeah, same thing as the driver's side. What I like to do is I'll push in on these with something, not my hand, and I will proceed to take the speaker out. The vapor barrier will probably be stuck in the way this whole time. And you know, the speaker thing you can do whatever you want, whatnot. But yeah, it's just Phillips screws. I'm just taking 4 Phillips screws out of the speaker. a precaution, like everything else that I do. If I know it's gonna fall, I take the two bottom out first and take the two top out very slow. Like I was saying, this part isn't the hard part. Doing this stuff, it's easy. Especially if you got good wiring. You want to do your wiring over again. I did that. The hard part, or the annoying part rather, is pulling the back seat and the back interior panels out of this car in order to access these two rear windows. That is a joy that I never thought I'd have to do again. But as you can see by the driver's side half window, we'll be in there again. But the good news is, like I was saying, it's related to the Fox body. You can pull a whole inside of the car apart in like 10 minutes. I don't know about the dashboard. I ain't taking the dashboard out of this thing. I made that mistake once with a Subaru Brat. I ain't never doing that again. Ooh, this one is, this speaker's pretty well glued in. You know, you want to take all the screws out, you know what I'm saying? You can't plan too much, you know? Alright. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm going to check the camera real quick. But, oh yeah. See, that was planned. Coming over here. You didn't miss much if I wasn't recording, but all you do is take those 4 screws out, peel that speaker out of that spacer, then we're going to unplug it and set it aside. Magnet's still magneting. Oh, where is my, we'll use the plastic tool. Get this little tab off this speaker connector. Sometime today. Work this thing is trying to be problematic. I don't know if someone spilled coffee inside of the door, but I got this stuff all over my hands. And as you can see, everything is in the way of what we need to manipulate. I'm looking and trying to decide if I want to play with these as well. And I'm thinking 11 mil. We'll just loosen these up a tad bit just so we get some movement, right? Because as you can see, this is the whole power window assembly. I didn't have to go very far, but these can all be backed off, right? Just need a little space. I just need a little space. All right. Now, here comes the fun part. How many times have I said that? We're all unbolted. I'm applying force behind the motor, but there is so much tension between this motor gear and the window gear. It's going to take a little bit of effort. Seeing if I can work from the front and back, right? And I'm holding the door open, right? That's real. Still working it, right? Because you have to do a combination of hold the regulator back and pull on the motor at the same time. There we go. See? Got lucky on this one. The driver's side was a real pain in the butt. Oh yeah, it didn't come out like that, folks. Oh, we're hung up on the wiring, which is right here, right? See that guy? So rather than wreck my I pulled a no-no here, folks. Pulled a no-no. Got crap all over my hands. But yeah, motor connector. There's a little quick snap right there that holds that on. I'm coming in again with my plastic tool. Right. I'm going to give a little tug on this. Sometimes it is the plastic tool, sometimes it isn't. Bam. I put pressure on the back of the motor. And here we have the Ford original, which I could talk all day about because it's metal and it's real, and I'm replacing it with a plastic thing. Alright, and just to touch on, I've done this before with you guys, when it came to the Focus, which is coming back, I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it's a Ford, because any car can come back, right? Anywho, check this out. Plastic, plastic, plastic. The only really good thing here, in my opinion, hey, at least the drive gear is metal, right? And then since these are universal and you put them all kinds of different cars, the plug-in comes with different plug-ins to plug into that. That's a lot on saying the word plug-in. But yeah, I will bring these over and show those to you as well, because as you can see, that's the Ford plug-in. Oh, be right back. So, this is what you get for a wiring harness, and this one's actually better than the one I got from Amazon. Everything's actually crimped so far. So, black portion gets plugged into the window motor itself. This is kind of like a proprietary plug, and then you pick which one of the wires is the one you want to use in the Mustang. And I will probably go with the shortest one available. See that? They're so nice, they give us two. They're so nice, they do it twice. Alright, quick tool review. Get yourself one of these. It doesn't have to be Exolite brand. Alright. But best part about these, you can come in on the zip tie and just you're not manhandling some giant cutters that were made for cutting something else. Just these nice little snips. Bam. Works great for working with wires too, because you can get in and cut like a bundle of wires, especially if you can get them like flat. Perfect. But yeah, we just freed our two plugs. This side goes into the motor harness, and this side goes to the actual door. I am not going to use the one that is 2 feet long. I'm going to go with this because it is the closest to matching the Ford motor that came out. Plug it in, plug it in. Bam. That's nice and tight at least. What we're going to pay attention to is, even though I ripped this one, I think it'll be okay. I'm going to slide this back into place so that this little nub right here goes back into this bracket. Okay? Next thing I'm going to do, I've got to get this into position. We've got 3 screw holes, bolt holes, and looking at it, We're going with this orientation. Has to line up with what's inside the door and the regulator. And then we fish this back through this hole right here. Then we test. Coming in through the speaker hole. I don't know if y'all can see that. Making sure that our 3 holes are pointing that way, right? And always make sure, for the love of God, always make sure that the harness is attached. I may have made that mistake before and had to take the motor back out. Just saying. Now, something to note. You would think that this motor would be like this, right? No. It goes in the assembly like this, with the drive gear inside of what they call the regulator. Regulators, right? But anywho, I will proceed. I'll stop talking and proceed. I'll leave this out as much as I can. Moving this around. Hopefully we can slide this around on the inside of things. It's like we're gonna have to slide it. We're going horizontal with the motor now. Okay, dropping it in the very bottom of the door. There's a bracket behind the regulator, right? That was loud. Right? So we're coming up and under that bracket, and we're trying, okay? Bam! Here's our first bolt hole. All right. Now I've saved everything here as far as bolts go. I'm kind of like cantilevering myself here, and I got this thing stuck to me. Bam. All right. At this point, I'm probably hoping against hope. Take your deep socket. We're going to try and locate our hole for our bolts here. Feels like we've got some purchase there. I'm gonna scoot down, get on the ground, be one with nature. All right. All right, is that how that goes? I don't know how that goes. I like the feel of that. Okay, we had a little tension on the first mounting bolt, but I'm just gonna go for it. All right, set that bolt in there. Feel it out a little bit, see if we get a bite. We get a bite. Feel like I'm fishing with my old man again. Bam. And I think hole number 3, I think we're good. All right. Looks like we've got purchase on all 3 bolts. I'm gonna snug them with this, just hand tight, because I have learned my lesson. Never, ever force anything, especially if it's involving plastic, electronics. There we go. See, just feel that finger. Yeah, just that finger tight like that. We do not go any harder than that. Like that right there. Just where you start putting some effort in with your wrist, we're stopping right there. And I can feel it tightening up. I'm gonna hit my regulator real quick. 11 millimeter. Bam. Remember, we don't take anything in this door all the way off, except for the motor. So we're gonna put everything in, install it. We don't ever put the door panel on till we're 200% sure. All my 11 millimeters snugged. That's really all you want to do with these two, because they're made out of old Coke cans. All these fasteners. I don't want to ruin your dreams that, you know, your favorite cars are made out of good stuff, because they're probably not. And that's not just bashing this brand. Alright, getting back down in here now that we have the motor hooked up. See this little square right here? That's where the original harness came through. I am trying to avoid any way of closing the window on this wire, and it's next near impossible to do with this thing because of how everything is mounted behind the actual steel panel. But yeah, before I get crazy and latch that on, let's start her up and try it. Call me a skeptic. All right. Most of my dialogue is from the worst movies of the 90s, so Avante. All right, new motor. Let's see. Oh, snap. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We got working from this side. Listen to this thing. Got 200 ponies, baby. All right. It's from the driver's side control. Watch. Now, from the passenger side, a brand new switch. Y'all ready? Oh, yeah. This actually sounds better than the Amazon part. Who knew? All right, so everything all put back together, and me making sure that the wiring is out of the way of the window when it comes down. That is a gripe I have. A legitimate concern. Assembly is the reverse of disassembly. Make sure your tabs go in the hole, slide this over, and make sure it goes over this lock. Standoff right here, and you're good to go. Our job is done tonight. Now we can enjoy this Mustang again with the top down the way it's supposed to be, with all the windows down. Thank you, you too. Have a great week.